to the first edition of the BullDog Bark of the 2024 football season. We're here to talk nothing but Crown Point football, and we're here today with Coach Craig Grazia. Coach, how you doing?
Ski, it's good to see you again. Another season underway, and looking forward to a really positive 2024 season with the Bulldogs.
Well, we are coming to you today live from Station 21 Restaurant here on Main Street. Great atmosphere here. We got a big crowd that's over here on the side as well. Some of the players, there we go. And we're enjoying the atmosphere and ready to talk some football. Let's start off, Coach, just a little bit about the preseason, kind of moving in a little bit. The summer went fast. You were talking earlier how fast things went, but getting ready for that first game against Lowell, how do you think the preparation was this summer?
Well, you know, it's one of those years where you just can't wait to get to your first game, right? And I think our guys were sort of getting a little bit stale as the summer went on, and then we got into, you know, school starting and all that, and you just were hoping why they were so, you know, laid back was just because they couldn't wait to play a game. And, you know, lo and behold, I think that's what we saw. When the lights came on, our guys definitely shined, and it was a pleasure to watch them play on Friday night.
Well, let's jump right into that game against Lowell. It's tradition to play Lowell in that first game of the season, and this year it was a little bit lopsided victory, and the Bulldogs came out on top. You guys played pretty well.
You know, I thought we played pretty clean for the first game, and some of those things that bug teams, you know, in that first game, whether it be, you know, penalties, pre-snap penalties, balls on the ground, fumbles, interceptions, we were able to stay away from that, and that was always a real positive thing for us, because you just, that first game, you just don't know what's going to happen, and I thought our guys played very, very well. Our defense really got after it and allowed the offense to have the ball in some pretty good opportune situations, and I thought, you know, offensively we dropped probably 2 or 3 what could have been touchdowns, but I thought our receivers regrouped, and obviously our offensive line, which is essentially a new offensive line from last year, did a great job of not only run blocking but protecting our quarterback, and good things happen when all that comes about.
Now, Lowell has always been that rival, the team down south. I talked to a bunch of the guys after the game, and they were talking about how much they like to beat Lowell, but you said something after the game about this is just, Lowell, you have to beat Lowell to meet the rest of our goals of the season.
Yeah, well, when we first came here, we put several goals up, and beating them was the first goal, and to be honest with you, the reason why that was the first goal is because when we took over, I think they had won 4 in a row, and so, you know, we felt that had to be at top of our goal list. Luckily for us, you know, we've been able to play well the last 4 years and retain the old leather helmet trophy.
Now, offensively, you guys did really well against Lowell, both in the air and on the ground. Larry Ellison, we'll start with him. He started things off on the ground, had a tremendous game.
He did, and I think Larry would be the first to tell you that offensive line was really paving some huge holes, and that was great to see. And obviously, when you run the ball, it's effective. It's going to open up your play-action passing game. I think Larry had, you know, roughly 175 yards in 1 quarter from the line of scrimmage, and then you know, Noah Ehrlich, our quarterback, was 11 for, I believe, 16 for a little over 200 yards and a little over a quarter of play. So, you know, those guys really put it all together, and receivers made some catches, and like I said, can't throw the ball downfield unless you have the protection that we had with our offensive line.
Now, you talk about the importance of having some of those linemen do such a good job, but talk to me a little bit about the importance of having 2 players coming back as starters last year, leaders in the running back and the quarterback at those positions especially.
Yeah, you don't get that very often. You know, you get a quarterback that's thrown for so many yards, and Larry, who was close to almost 2,000 yards last year and 30 touchdowns. When you could build your team and your offense around that, you got a pretty good situation. And obviously, you know, we got 2 or 3 very, very capable tight ends and H-backs, and then throwing a few wide outs, and you're able to spread the ball around. And I think Noah threw completed 7 different receivers in that first quarter, which is you know, tough to defend when you're spreading it around like that.
Leadership is important. We talked about those 2, but it was also senior night, and we saw I can't even tell you how many seniors, but it was a really, really big group of seniors this year. That's got to be beneficial to you too.
Yeah, bigger than last year. I think we had 26, and you know, it's always good to honor those guys when you're getting some good weather and the parents don't have to come out and freeze because it's, you know, the last game of the year. So last couple of years we moved to the first game. It's went real well, and really, really proud of these seniors, and just hoping that they have an outstanding year to remember.
Well, as always, we like to get to the players of the game, and we'll get to those guys in just a second. Coach, I do want to ask you, before we get to those players of the game, about the theme from Friday night. Everybody was in green, and it was all about mental health. Talk to us about how that came about.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Last year we started doing something with leukemia awareness, and something that was near to my heart, and it went so well that we thought we needed to take a look at another cause that we could support, and obviously mental illness is at the top of everyone's list, and our mental health, and I think we were able to bring some awareness to it, and sold some green shirts. I think we were close to 1,500 shirts that we sold, and between us and Lowell, it was good to see them hop on board as well. And you know, it's just one of those things. We have a platform, and you know, we're going to try to do that and use that each and every year, and we'll see what happens next year. But really, really proud to look up in those stands and see all those neon green shirts that supported mental health.
It was really neat. Well, let's get to those players of the game, Coach. We'll mix things up a little bit this year. Let's start off right now with the Scout Team Players of the Week.
Yeah, our Scout Team Players of the Week, very, very important for us in regards to how we perform during the week, and these guys did an outstanding job. Our Scout Defensive Player of the Week was Justin Haas. He also had actually had an interception in that game, in the varsity game on Friday, which was great to see. Our Scout Offensive Player of the Week was Casey Muniz, and our Scout Special Teams. We're doing something a little bit different this year. We identified 20 guys that we call black shirts that are going to be our Scout prep team guys each and every week, and those guys are going to have a tough job, but sort of like our Navy SEALs, and so our first black shirt and Scout Special Teams Player of the Week was Joshua Daniels. He did an outstanding job for us.
All right, we'll get to the Offensive Players of the Week. First off in the offense, Noah Ehrlich and Larry Ellison. No surprise there.
No, and we don't really like to honor two guys. You know, we like to just narrow it down to one, but how could you differentiate between those two guys, you know? And again, they'd be the first to tell you none of that stuff is possible without, you know, guys catching the ball and people blocking for them and all that. But those guys were outstanding. We expected them to be outstanding in their first game, and they certainly didn't let us down. So they're both deserving of this honor.
On the defensive side, it's Josh Miller, and before you say anything, I've never seen a guy more enthusiastic after every play than this guy. He had a really good game.
Josh brings the juice. His first year starting, we've watched him grow, you know, coming through our system, and outstanding JV player last year, and we just felt like with the year he was having in the weight room, the enthusiasm he brings, the intensity that he brings, we thought he was up for a good year, and man, did he deliver on Friday, and well deserving of you know, our Defensive Player of the Week. Obviously, we had a lot of guys that could have been nominated for that, but he stood out ahead above, so I was really, really happy for Josh.
On Saturday, the JV team played, and we have an Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week for them as well.
Yeah, so our Defensive Player of the Week was Rowan Treasurer. Just, you know, picked up football a couple years ago, and it's just gotten better and better each week, and really had an outstanding performance in our JV game. JV team won pretty handily, and we were glad to see that. And then, you know, offensively, a name that might be familiar to some is Lou Tiwan, and his brother, obviously Eli, was a running back for us, and Lou took the first play for a touchdown, and had two others, and ran extremely hard behind you know, some really good offensive line blocking. So really, really happy to honor our JV guys.
One of our favorite awards to give out is the Bone Crushing Hit of the Week, and I think as soon as this one happened on special teams, everybody on the sidelines knew who was going to get this bone-crushing hit of the week.
Yeah, when we did, you know, when we have a bone crusher, we make sure that it's a clean block. It's something that, you know, somebody's looking when you're hitting them, and this one was just outstanding on a kickoff return, and goes to a freshman ski, and it's a Max Gurnick, and I think anybody who was at the game didn't miss that one, because that was one that was heard around the stadium.
Well, some great awards. Congratulations to all the fellows for picking up those awards. We've got a lot more to cover here on the BullDog Bark. We're going to bring in a couple players of the week. We'll come back and talk more with Coach Buzz. We're going to take a quick break and thank the Nicola Group, the Realty Executives Premier, for being our sponsor of today. They love the BullDog Bark, and we appreciate their sponsorship in helping us out here with the BullDog Bark. We'll be right back with the fellas in just a second. Welcome back to the BullDog Bark. We are sponsored by the Nicola Group, and we appreciate their sponsorship right here at Station 21. And today we are joined by senior quarterback Noah Ehrlich. Noah, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Noah, let's just talk a little bit about the game on Friday night. Talk about just getting off to a good start and getting the guys in the groove of things in the first game.
Yes, sir. So obviously, first game of the year, going to have some jitters. But I mean, once we were in the moment and we knew what we had to do, we took care of business.
Okay. Offensively, you did pretty well through the air. Coach was talking about you hit 7 or 8 different receivers, so you really spread the ball around. How did it feel on the first night behind the ball?
Yes, sir. It felt amazing just to be playing again. I mean, with the guys that we worked so hard over summer, and to go against someone else besides your own team and it be live and real in front of a crowd, it was awesome. Loved it.
One of the concerns, well, I don't know if it was a concern, but one of the key areas where he lost a lot of guys was on the offensive line. But Friday night against Lowell, didn't seem like too much of a problem. They did a pretty good job for you.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the guys. I mean, they dominated. We were watching film the next day, and it was just guys on the ground from our O-line left and right. So they did awesome. Very proud of them.
Okay, we're going to be bringing him in here in just a little bit, Larry Ellison. But Larry was your co-MVP of the week for the offense. Talk a little bit about Larry and how his game went.
I mean, I'm just proud of the man. Coming in, last year being his first year running back, and this year being a senior, he was obviously a leader on the team, and he absolutely dominates. He's a killer from defenses for sure. I would hate being against him. I'm glad he's on our team.
So what's the feeling this year? Talk to me about the group as a whole. Confidence. Last year you make it to the state championship game. Where is the confidence this year for the team?
Yes, sir. We obviously have a lot of confidence in ourselves. I think the biggest thing that the team wants to prove this year is that last year wasn't a fluke. Like, we deserve to be in the conversation of a state title, and I think we're just out to prove that this year.
Okay. Well, this week you're playing against a team that you really don't know too much about. Coach knows them from previous coaching experiences, but you play a team called the Arizona College Prep Team. What have you guys learned about them so far?
Not much. I was talking to one of our teammates at school today. He said it's kind of like taking a test without being able to study for it. So that's kind of how the feeling is. I'm excited to play them, knowing that we're going to have to adjust on the fly and probably face some adversity. But, I mean, it's all good things for our future season. So very excited.
Well, we're excited to see you play Friday night. Best of luck in that game. While you're here, you might be able to play along too. We're going to actually see if any of the crowd wants to play along here. We have a BullDog hat to give away here.
Oh,
and
let's go.
Coach has asked for the first trivia question to be, his birthday is coming up this Friday, actually. He'll be playing on his birthday, and we're going to take the closest guess to his age without going over.
Oh,
so
gosh.
we're playing Price is Right. Price is Right. How old is Coach Buzz going to be Friday night? If you can guess without going over, the closest guess will win this hat. In the meantime, while we're taking guesses, we're going to take another quick break. And once again, thank the Nicola Group for their sponsorship. And then we're going to bring Larry Ellison in here on the BullDog Bark. We're going to be right back. Back back with the Bulldog Bark, and we're joined now by senior running back Larry Ellison. Larry, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Hey, before we get to the questions with Larry, we do want to go ahead and give away this hat. The question was, how old is Coach Buzz going to be this Friday night at the game? It's his birthday, so we'll have a big celebration. The correct answer, and the hat will go to Touchdown Tommy. Okay?
Touchdown Tommy.
63 is the guess, and that was correct.
Oh my God.
One away. So here's his hat out to Touchdown Tommy. Congratulations to him, and happy early birthday to Coach Buzz. A young 63. A young 63. Anybody that guessed over that, Coach said is playing this week.
My birthday is Thursday.
Thursday, there we go. So we got another birthday here from Larry. How about that?
Actually.
Hey, Coach, I was one away. I gave you a year younger. I gave you a year older.
Look at all these guys now, Coach.
Oh,
they're all
man.
saying they guessed in the 50s, whatever. All right, well, let's get to Larry. Larry, let's talk a little bit about your performance on Friday night. You were able to win co-MVP for the offensive side. Tell me what got you there.
Big shout out to the linemen for sure. They had they really stuck to their assignment. They did really well. Just opening all the gaps for me and just giving me good looks overall throughout the whole game really helped out.
Tell me about your evolution here. I know last year you had never been a running back. You kind of came in and took over and had an incredible season. Now you're coming back with a full season and a whole summer behind you. What did you do in the off season that maybe you thought last year, hey, I need a little bit of work here?
Just putting in the work, like typical work in the weight room. For sure getting stronger because coming in as a first-time running back last year, I felt like I was really small in size. So definitely getting a little stronger in the weight room this year and just bulking up so I would be ready for any hits or anything like that this season.
Okay. Now offensively, things went great for you guys, both in the air and on the ground. Seems like you guys have quite a few weapons this year.
Yes, we do. Noah Ehrlich over there. He's a great QB, great leader for our team, and just knowing he could lead the team and set us up for good plays. It's really helpful for our team.
We didn't talk too much defense with Noah, but I'll talk with you guys. It seems every game there's a shutout, kind of right in the lurch right there, and they almost had one again this one. How great is that defense, knowing as an offensive player you have that defense behind you?
Oh, it's fantastic. Just knowing that we did lose some of our big defensive guys last year, but a lot of kids stepped up this year, and they're doing really well, playing hard for us, and just knowing that we got guys on defense that are just going to continuously play hard every game. It's a great feeling.
Now I talked to Coach Buzz about Josh Miller. Josh Miller was perhaps the most enthusiastic person I've ever seen out on the football field this Friday. Talk about his enthusiasm and what he brings.
Oh man, he brings a lot of enthusiasm. It honestly brings the team up, and it gets us hyped for every play, especially on defensive side. Seeing him make plays and just bring the whole defense up, it's awesome for our team, and it just gets us all hyped.
Hey, you talked about some of the players that you lost last year, coming up over that second place in the state championship game. What do you think the team's confidence is going into this season?
Just knowing the standard now, just knowing how we got to play every game, knowing we can't let down at all throughout the whole season. It'll really just keep our mindset straight and keep us working hard throughout the whole season.
All right. Well, another big game coming up for you Friday. Good luck. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Another big game out of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, it's Larry Ellison. We appreciate him, and we appreciate the Nicola Group, who are our sponsors here for today's Bulldog Bark. We'll be back with more Bulldog Bark right after this break. We'll bring it back with Coach Buzz. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with the Bulldog Bark and Coach Buzz. Coach, we've just days away from the next game, game number 2. And an interesting game coming up. We're going and bringing in a team all the way from Arizona this week to play us, and you have some special ties with the coach.
Yeah, so we're sort of making this the desert or the region versus the valley. Obviously, they're from Arizona, but down in the valley part of it, and Arizona College Prep from Chandler, Arizona. We believe it's the first team from Arizona ever to play a football game in Indiana. If not, it's certainly in Northwest Indiana. So the story goes, last year we played a team out of Chicago, got a 2-year contract. After we played them, they said they weren't interested in playing us anymore. So they sort of left us out. And anymore these days, these contracts are out 4 or 5 years ahead of time. And so it was very, very tough to find a game. But Steve Vaught, who played for me in Portage in 2003 and 2004, was an outstanding player for me. Went on to help coach with me at home at Flossmoor, and after coaching a couple years down at HF with me, took a job down in Arizona and was really the defensive coordinator for Chandler High School, which won 3 state championships down in Arizona, and was able to land a head coaching job at Arizona College Prep and this off season. And during our discussions, we talked about we needed the game, and it just kept on talking and evolving. And he said, "You know what, Coach? I think we can make that trip down there. Let's just see if we can make this work." And it seemed like a pipe dream at one point, but their corporation is all about sending their teams, afar, whether it be Hawaii or Alaska or Indiana in this case, and they approved it, and that's how it happened. And we got a team coming in from Arizona, a quality team that lost to the state champ last year in the playoffs in 4 overtimes. So we're getting a quality team. It's what we wanted before we got into the conference season, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge for our guys. But looking forward to it. Obviously, Steve's first game as a head coach is going to be against his old ball coach. So there's a little story behind that, and so I think he's going to have a lot of Portage guys that played with him going to be at the game, and his family, and it's going to be a great night, and we really appreciate him doing all the work to get their team coming up this way.
Coach, talk about that a little bit. It's got to be something special for you to be able to see a former player, then he comes and coaches with you. Now he's on his own doing what he loves, doing the same thing you're doing. Now he's coming back to play you. There's got to be a sense of pride for you in that too.
Oh, tremendous. And he was one of those guys that you knew if he wanted to get into coaching, he was going to be outstanding at it. He has done that. So happy that he's been able to get a head coaching job now, and very, very proud of him, just as I am all my guys. But to be able to come all the way a couple thousand miles to coach's team against our team, it's pretty special.
That's awesome. Well, it all happens Friday night, 7 o'clock at BullDog Stadium. It's the Arizona College Prep Knights against the Crown Point Bulldogs. We hope to see you there, and of course we'll be back next week with more Bulldog Bark to talk about that game and the rest of the season, as the conference season will be starting soon after that. Coach, thanks a lot. We wish you the best of luck on Friday, and we'll see you out there.
Thanks, Ski. Looking forward to it. Let's keep this crowd coming. What an unbelievable atmosphere we had on Friday, and hopefully we could duplicate that. And our kids love playing in front of our fans, so let's looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we'll see you out there Friday night, 7 o'clock.